Today, I am pleased to announce the launch of EEOC Explore and to introduce Dr. Joshin Yu, Director of EEOC's Information and Data Access Division and Project Director of EEOC Explore, who will lead today's demonstration. Joshin?
Thank you, Chris. Greetings. My name is Joshin Yu, and I'm the Director of the Information and Data Access Division in the Office of Enterprise Data and Analytics here at EEOC. First of all, thank you for your presence at this launch event. We're very excited to demonstrate features of this initial release of EEOC Explore. What is EEOC Explore, you might ask? EEOC Explore is an interactive data query and mapping tool that gives users access to the most current, granular, and privacy-protected aggregate EEOC data that is publicly available. This is a joint effort between OIDA and subject matter experts from NORC at University of Chicago. Today's presentation has two modules. First, I will walk you through the development process of the EEOC Explore, where I will show you how aggregate EEO data were released previously, what our team strives to deliver to the public, and the results from that effort. I will then give an overview of EEOC Explore, where I will go over its current available features, including user guides and downloadable data sets, and finish with a live demo on a few use cases, some of which were either identical or highly similar to the data requests we have received during the past few years. As some of you may know, EEOC publishes its EEO data aggregates on the public website in the form of static tables for some years. As a matter of fact, as recent as early 2000s, these tables were still published in paperback, resulting in a long wait for the public to have access. What's displayed here is an example of static tables of previously published EEO1 data aggregates for the year 2018. You may notice on the top that this data collection is still known as the job patterns for minorities and women in private industry. We picked EEO1 data collection as a pilot for EEOC Explore for a few reasons. First, EEO1 data collections take place every year, while other EEO data collections happen every other year. A quick PSA here. Currently, our agency also collects job patterns for minorities and women in referral local unions, also known as EEO3, job patterns for minority and women in state and local government, also known as EEO4, and job patterns for minorities and women in elementary, secondary public schools, also known as EEO5. Secondly, EEO1 data are the most complex data sets within this collection, both in terms of its large volume, about 73,000 employers nationwide each year, and its substantial coverage, over 56 million employees. EEO1 reports are collected annually from private employers with 100 or more employees or federal contractors with 50 or more employees. While this is not a survey of US private sector labor force, it is the only data collection that contains information on employee demographics, such as gender and race ethnicity breakdown. This complexity means that if we could overcome obstacles to launch a successful confidentiality protected public use file, we will be able to present more aggregate EEO1 data using this platform in the near future. The third reason over this choice related to you. It was through your continuous support and engagement with us that led to the prototype of this tool. Our team took an evidence-based approach and went through the most prevalent data requests in the past few years to find out what will bring the most value to our stakeholders. It is our intention that you will find this tool useful and could help us improve EEOC Explore by sharing your user experience and suggestion with us. We tested multiple templates for an integrated dashboard design and an interactive query and mapping features, and landed on a choice of Tableau. We built this EEOC Explore prototype while keeping scalability, accessibility, and usability in mind. It is scalable in that we plan on adding additional years of EEO1 data in the near future and expand to include other aforementioned EEO data collections. It is accessible. The current version supports screen readers for blind and visually impaired individuals so that they can independently interact with the tool. We provided some information on non-visual desktop access, or NVDA, screen reader in our user interface guidebook. It is user-friendly. We designed the current layout with you, the public user, in mind. We aim to deliver answers to the most frequently asked questions on EEO1 data with the most amount of clarity and fewest number of clicks. One way to measure data utility is to examine the amount of information available in a data product. As I mentioned before, we aim to deliver the most granular information without jeopardizing data confidentiality. Here's a bit of that background. The EEO1 data are collected under authority of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Section 709 of Title VII forbids EEOC and its staff from making public any information before a Title VII proceeding is instituted that involves that information. In the past, EEOC has released aggregate EEO1 data that does not reveal the identity of individual filers. With that in mind, we developed these EEO1 public use files from individual EEO1 reports using a de-identification methodology that aligns with the provisions of the Confidential Information Protection and Statistical Efficiency Act, also known as SIPSI, a statutory requirement for federal statistical agencies like the Bureau of Census and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We believe a higher bar for protecting the data confidentiality aligns with the agency's long-term data modernization effort. The result of these considerations and efforts led to downloadable single-year PUFs, or short for public use file, that would allow users to create their own crosstabs, analyses, models, and visualizations. Although an unfair comparison between static tables in the past and an interactive tool, the PUFs in the EEOC Explore provides information in terms of table equivalents at a 40-fold margin compared to its previous form. We continue to provide aggregate EEO1 information at state and CBSA level, that is, core-based statistical area, a geography defined by the Office of Management and Budget. We now provide county-level data at both NAICS 2 and NAICS 3 details. NAICS, or NAICS, is short for North American Industry Classification System, the standard code used by federal statistical agencies in classifying business establishments. EEOC Explore uses integrated dashboards for displaying data. Dashboards are displayed as tabs along the top panel of the user interface, and filters are shown along the left panel of the screen. Maps and graphs present information based on selected filters within the domain of each dashboard. There are two ways of visualizing data on each dashboard. Navigation through filters. A change in filter can affect both maps and graphs. Or navigation through geo-actions. In other words, user actions on map can change information on graphs for a given set of filters. There are currently 5 dashboards for EEOC Explore. Job categories by sex, race, ethnicity by sex, industry, state trends by year, and state comparison. The following filters are available in the current version. On the left, you will see year, geography, sex, race, ethnicity, job category, 2- and 3-digit NAICS code. Year and geography filters allow only one value at a time, while other filters allow multiple selections from the drop-down list. All multi-selection drop-downs have an option called Aggregate. When this option is selected, the output reflects the sum of all options presented in the drop-down. This strategy allows more data to be published in the public domain. For example, let us assume that there are 3 females and 20 male for a given combination of filters. The aggregate is 23. The de-identification algorithm may flag individual sex categories as non-publishable to protect the identity of the employees or employers. But the aggregated value for the same set of filters can be published. In this situation, when a user selects male or female or both, the output may show an asterisk to suppress identifiable information. But when the user deselects both male and female and selects the aggregate option, the output will then show employee counts for publishable data. That was a lot of information just now, but rest assured, you will be able to find guidebooks on how to use the tool, as well as the public use files on our website. This is the final slide before we switch to the browser and walk you through a few sample use cases. I would like to highlight the data download feature here. Data and dashboard objects can be downloaded in several ways. The data window can be opened by clicking on Ctrl, Shift, and Enter keys simultaneously when the focus is on a map or plots. A button for download option is available along the bottom right corner of the screen, as shown in the image here. When a download button is clicked or selected on a keyboard, users can choose from options such as image, crosstab, PDF, PowerPoint, or Tableau workbook. The public use files are available for download with their individual links. Prior year aggregate EEO1 tables are still available in the archive link. Okay, so our first sample use case involves one of the most frequently asked questions. In this scenario, a researcher would like to write about employment characteristics in New York. They're interested to know the distribution of employees by race, ethnicity, and sex across all industries in 2018 for the job category of mid-level managers. I will now cross my fingers and switch to my browser. We have tested our website capacity at about 200 times its average daily users with this new tool, but you may still expect a slight delay if we all do it together. What's shown here is our EEO1 website, and we have embedded the EEOC Explore onto this website. So now I'm on my browser. To go over this exercise, I will first select the cross-tab Race and Ethnicity by Sex, the second tab on the top. On the left panel, I will make the following choices for the filters. For year, I will leave 2018. For the geography, I will select state. For sex, we will uncheck aggregate and check male and female because you want to see the detailed breakdown of gender instead of aggregated total, which is everyone. Also, if aggregate is checked here, you will then see a third bar totaling male and female. Race and ethnicity, we will uncheck aggregate and check all other options. We anticipate that most users will be interested in a distribution of all grouping in this case and set up the default choice accordingly. For the job category, we will uncheck aggregate and then check first mid-level, mid-officials and managers and click apply. For next 2 and next 3 code, we'll make sure that aggregate is still checked. By the way, if at any point you will need to reset filters, you can simply click on another tab on the top and click back to refresh the screen. Next, I will hover my mouse to the state of New York, and you will see an interactive display for the total employees count that fit filters is 381,701. The researcher in this case would then click and be able to see the detailed display of race ethnicity on the bottom left and sex on the bottom right. And we notice that there's relatively small counts here that's publishable. A follow-on question on that slide is that the researcher is interested in a manufacturing sector. In order to do this, we will go back to where we left things off and select 31, 32, and 33 under next 2 code and uncheck aggregate. You will see that the new total has been updated to 39,839. In our second example, a reporter would like to compare employment in the finance and insurance industry between Silicon Valley and Atlanta metro area. For this exercise, we will use the third tab for illustration. We start by selecting industry on the top panel. We will leave the year 2018 by default and choose county as the geography. You may experience a small delay as the map refreshes to display up to 3,000 county-level data aggregates. You will notice that just a slight drop in the total count at national level by about 1 million. We will make sure that aggregate is still checked for the choice of sex, race, ethnicity, as well as job category. For the next 2 code, we will uncheck aggregate and select next to 52, finance and insurance, and click apply. For this exercise, we'll use the Bureau of Labor Statistics definition for Silicon Valley. Based on my research, BLS's quarterly census of employment and wages program defines Silicon Valley as the counties of Alameda, Contra Costa, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Santa Cruz. So just a reminder that in order to pick multiple counties or multiple geography, the user will have to click and hold down the control key. So we're going around the Bay Area and select those 6 counties. Last but not least, Contra Costa. So after all selections are made, you will see a total of 69,983 for this area. If the reporter would like to go one step further and choose from the drop-down menus of next 3 codes and say they would like to refine their search to only include 523, 524, and 525. With this refinement, you will see that the total has been updated to 26,107, with the detailed breakdown of next 3 on the bottom right. So now back on the east side for the other half of this question. We'll now change the geography to CBSA and select from the map the Atlanta region. As you hover your mouse over, you can already see the total count. So we'll click on Atlanta, Sandy Spring, Roswell, Georgia region. You see that the total is 39,207. In this case, you may also notice that only EEO1 aggregate and next 3 code 524 or insurance carriers were publishable. Okay, let me squeeze in one more example before you get tired of my voice and the toggle between the 2 screens. We're looking to investigate change year over year in the employment of professional women in the state of Wisconsin. Further, one would like to compare across race ethnicity groups among Black, African American, Hispanic, and Asian groups. We'll achieve that by clicking the 4th tab, State Trends by Year, on the top. In its current version, you will not have choice for the specific years, and the total on the top of this map counts the total for both years currently available. On the left panel, under sex, we'll keep female only. For race ethnicity, we'll uncheck a few boxes, leaving just Black or African American, Hispanic, Asian checked. Under the job category, we will uncheck everything, leaving just professional. And last but not least, we will make sure that aggregate is still checked for both next 2 and next 3 code. I would like to add, just mention that for the next 3 code, it will refine its search, its choices under the selected next 2 code. And the user could also use the search bar for next 2 and next 3 to quickly identify the information that they're looking for. So hover over Wisconsin, and with a click, you will be able to see that professional women of the selected ethnicity groups in Wisconsin showed an increase of about 700 people year over year. All 3 groups saw some increase from 2017 to 2018, but I would defer to a calculator for which group has largest or smallest increase. With that, I will conclude today's presentation. I'm very grateful for my team, the support of OEDA, the Commission, as well as our partners at NORC. Quoting EEOC's Chair Janet Dillon, EEOC Explore will make it easier to navigate the agency's aggregate EEO1 data for everyone interested in advancing equal opportunity for all in the workplace. I want to thank you again for your time and support for EEOC and OEDA's ongoing modernization effort. We look forward to hearing from you on ways we may further improve your experience. The contact information is shown here. Thank you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.